Dragged my daughter out of prom by her hair in front of everyone after discovering she hid a secret stash of money from her job, even though our agreement was for her to give us all her earnings to repay the cost of her dress, since she's been acting entitled. But now the school contacted CPS and made us an example in parent meetings. While my husband thinks I took it too far, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and we've always had a pretty strict household. I work full-time, my husband works too, and I've always expected my daughter to respect rules, be responsible, and contribute when she can. Recently, she started a part-time job at a local store, and while I encouraged her to earn and save, I made it very clear that any money she earns now has to go toward repaying the cost of her prom dress, because she has been acting entitled, and the dress was expensive. She agreed, reluctantly, and I honestly thought that was the end of it. In the weeks leading up to prom, I noticed she was being sneaky. She'd pretend she was at work when she wasn't. She was suddenly protective of her bag and phone, and she started locking her room. At first, I tried to chalk it up to normal teen behavior, but my instincts told me something was off. Last week, I went into her room while she was getting ready and found a small box hidden in her closet. It was full of cash, hundreds of dollars she had earned from her job that she had not turned over to me. I felt completely betrayed. This wasn't about money. It was about her thinking she could lie to me and get away with it. Prom night arrived, and I knew I couldn't let her go and pretend everything was fine. She was dressed, looking stunning in her gown, and all the other parents were chatting, taking pictures. I took a deep breath, marched in, and confronted her in front of everyone. I yelled at her, telling her I knew about the money, that she had broken our agreement, and that lying to me would not be tolerated. She screamed at me, tried to grab her bag, and I grabbed her by the hair and dragged her out of the venue. People were staring, some students recorded it, teachers stepped in, and my daughter was crying, humiliated. I confiscated the money, put it in my bag, and drove her home. She was screaming the whole way. When we got home, she locked herself in her room. My husband was furious, saying I took it too far, and that I humiliated her in front of everyone. I told him she broke the rules, lied to me, and deserved to be disciplined, and that I didn't care if people were watching. He didn't respond much, just kept pacing and shaking his head. The next day, I got a call from the school. They told me CPS had been contacted, and that the incident had been reported as an example of parental overreaction in some parent meetings. I was shocked and annoyed. I never wanted anyone to get in trouble. I just expected my daughter to follow the rules we set together. The school wanted me to come in for meetings, to explain myself, and to basically defend my actions. They also said some parents complained about the way I dragged my daughter out by the hair. I still can't believe that people think this is worse than her lying and hiding hundreds of dollars. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I did the right thing. I don't care if some people think I overreacted. This isn't about them. This is about teaching my daughter that actions have consequences, and that lying to your parents is not acceptable. She's old enough to work, old enough to earn money, and old enough to understand agreements. We made the deal, she broke it, and I enforced it. My husband keeps telling me I should apologize, that I embarrassed her, and that CPS is involved now because I crossed a line. I just don't see it that way. I see her actions as a line that she crossed first. I can't let lying and manipulation go unpunished. I feel like people are overreacting to the fact that I confronted her in front of others. The confrontation itself was not a secret. She had been sneaky and dishonest, and it needed to stop. Reddit, I need to know. Am I really in the wrong here? I didn't hit her, I didn't steal from her, I just enforced the rules we agreed on. I'm already dealing with the school making us an example in parent meetings and CPS being involved, and my husband thinks I went too far. I feel like I'm being punished for parenting. For context, she's always been a little bratty lately, talking back more, refusing chores, demanding things without appreciation, and this whole prom dress thing just highlighted it. I wasn't just reacting to one incident. This has been building for months. I'm tired of letting her think she can get away with disrespect. I know dragging her by the hair sounds extreme, but honestly, at the moment, it felt like the only way to make her listen. She's 17, not 7. She knew exactly what she was doing. I want her to learn that lying to me has serious consequences. I want her to understand that I'm not someone to manipulate. I want her to learn responsibility, even if it's painful. I still have the cash she hid. I'm not giving it back. I'm considering using it to make her understand the seriousness of breaking agreements in a more structured way. I've thought about letting her pay off some of her college application fees with it, but I'm also tempted to make her sit with me and calculate how much she owes me for breaking the rules. I feel like she needs to understand the weight of dishonesty. Update 1. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since prom, and things I got a call last week that they wanted to set up a meeting with me, my husband, the school, and a CPS worker. I was annoyed but agreed there's nothing I can do about them trying to make this a big deal. The meeting was an absolute nightmare. From the second I walked in, everyone was acting like I was some criminal instead of a parent enforcing rules. CPS started lecturing me about appropriate ways to discipline and that my actions could be considered abusive. I laughed in my head but didn't say it out loud yet. My husband, who had mostly stayed quiet during prom, suddenly started agreeing with them. He said I had gone too far, that dragging our daughter by her hair was excessive, and that we needed to think about her mental health. I could feel my blood pressure spike. This is the man who works full-time and barely notices how entitled she's been getting, and now he's siding with her and these bureaucrats? Betrayal doesn't even cover it. To make matters worse, my daughter refused to come home after the meeting. She packed a bag and went to stay at her aunt's house, my husband's sister. She's been encouraging our daughter to find herself or whatever. I see right through it. They're all conspiring against me to make me look like the bad parent. I tried to go pick her up. I knocked on the door, explained that I was her mother and she had to come home, and her aunt refused. She called the police, and they actually stopped me from taking her back. Can you believe that? My own child, taken away from me, and the law is backing her aunt. The most frustrating part, I found out that the money stash she had hidden wasn't just some random pile she had been hoarding for fun, it was for her college application fees. Yes, I know that makes her look less like a rebel, but that doesn't change the fact she went behind my back. The agreement was clear. Any money she earned went toward repaying the dress. She broke that agreement. That is betrayal. I don't care if she had a reason, she still lied to me, and she's still refusing to give me the rest. I've offered to work with her, but she just ignores me or tells my husband and aunt what I said, and they mediated in ways that leave me looking like the monster. CPS finally allowed her to stay with her aunt temporarily, and I've been threatening legal action every day since. I contacted lawyers, but apparently, dragging her out by the hair in front of everyone is considered public humiliation, and the school has all these reports from teachers and students. Even though I feel justified, I see the writing on the wall. They are going to try to make an example out of me. The school has sent letters saying I need to attend parent accountability seminars, and some training about healthy communication with minors. I don't need classes. I raised my daughter to be responsible and honest, and she chose to lie to me. I shouldn't have to grovel to appease anyone. My husband, meanwhile, has started spending more time at his sister's house with our daughter. He says it's to maintain a relationship, but I know it's because he's choosing to side against me. Every time I bring up the money or the dress or prom, he sighs and looks at me like I'm crazy. He even told me I should have just let it go and let her learn the lesson on her own. Are you kidding me? She's 17. She already had every chance to follow the rules. I gave her the opportunity to be honest. She refused, and now I'm supposed to sit quietly while they all pat her on the back for sneaking around? Absolutely not. On top of all of this, the neighborhood and community have started talking. I ran into some parents at the grocery store, and they whispered about the incident. A few even scolded me, asking if I realized CPS was involved. I tried to explain calmly that my daughter had broken the rules and lied about money she owed us, but they just looked at me like I was the bad guy. The school's parent meetings have also become a nightmare. Other parents have brought up my case as an example of what not to do. I wanted to yell and scream, but stayed quiet, only because I knew it would make things worse legally. I also want to clarify, I'm not being overbearing because I don't trust her or because I hate fun. I've been trying to teach her responsibility and honesty, and yes, I admit my approach is strict, but someone has to teach her before she's 25 and still thinking she can lie to get what she wants. I feel completely surrounded by people undermining me, the school, my husband, my daughter, her aunt, and I don't even know where to start fixing it. Some of you might say I overreacted or that dragging her by the hair was too much, and maybe technically it was extreme, but I still feel justified. At the time, I needed her attention, and she refused to give it, so I forced it. She got the message, even if it came with tears and humiliation. I didn't hit her. I didn't steal her money. I just enforced the rules, and now everyone's acting like I'm a criminal. I feel like the world has completely lost perspective. Honestly, I feel like my marriage is crumbling. My husband has stopped sleeping at our house most nights. He spends evenings with our daughter at his sister's place, laughing and acting like I'm the unreasonable one. I try to talk to him about how serious this is, how she lied, how she hid money, how she's manipulating the situation, but he brushes it off or lectures me about being too harsh. The man I thought I could rely on as a partner is actively undermining me, and there's nothing I can do about it right now. Reddit, I need perspective because I feel completely backed into a corner. Update 2. It's been months since the prom incident. I feel like my entire world has turned against me, and I'm trying to keep my head above water, but it's exhausting. Since CPS decided that my daughter could temporarily live with her aunt, the sister of my husband, under their supervision. CPS says it's for her protection and emotional health, but really it feels like a punishment for me daring to enforce rules. I can't even describe the frustration of going to pick her up and being blocked. I stood at her aunt's door, trying to get my daughter to come home, and they literally called the police to stop me. Police officers came, talked to me like I was a criminal, and told me that forcing her to return could be considered illegal. Illegal. For enforcing an agreement. For trying to parent. I can't wrap my head around it. Meanwhile, my husband didn't even back me up. He stayed calm, saying, "We need to follow the rules, and let's not make this worse." I couldn't believe it. The man who should be my partner, the one who should be helping me stand up for parenting, has completely abandoned me. To make matters worse, my husband decided he couldn't handle the stress anymore. A few weeks after the CPS decision, he told me he was leaving. He said he was done with all the conflict, that this isn't the marriage he signed up for, and that he needed distance. Distance. He moved into his sister's house, where our daughter was living, and files for separation almost immediately. I called him weak, spineless, and a coward. I can't even believe the betrayal. Everything I've done to raise my daughter responsibly, to teach her responsibility and honesty, and he abandons me at the first sign of difficulty. The daughter herself has gone completely no contact with me. At first, she would answer texts with, "I'm busy," or "leave me alone," but now she doesn't respond at all. I've tried showing up at her aunt's house, hoping to talk to her, even just for 5 minutes. Each time, security, police, or her aunt physically stopped me, and one of the times I was issued a restraining order. A restraining order against me. My own child and her family are treating me like a threat. Every day I try to call or text, and nothing. She's officially cut me out, and I feel like I've lost her entirely. The school has gone even further. I'm banned from attending any campus events, including things like award ceremonies or even volunteering, which I had done for years. They've labeled me as a risk to student safety in their internal records, all because I enforced an agreement about money. The PTA removed me from all volunteer roles, and teachers I've known for over a decade are now avoiding me. Gossip spreads fast. Parents look at me differently, whisper when I walk into places, and I know some are actively talking to CPS or the school about me, painting me as a tyrant who physically punished her child. CPS made their final ruling last week. They have officially transferred legal guardianship of my daughter to her aunt until she turns 18. I have lost custody, no temporary visitation, no "we'll work this out," nothing. I have no legal right to make decisions about her schooling, finances, or anything else. I feel completely powerless. All my arguments about the money, the dress, the agreements, everything I've tried to enforce as a parent gone. My daughter can live with her aunt and father, and no one can stop her from ignoring me. My parents tried to step in after hearing about this. I thought they would support me at least a little, but no. They confronted me, asking why I didn't handle it better, and implying that I should have let things go for the sake of my marriage and my daughter's well-being. I couldn't believe it. I accused them of siding with outsiders, of not seeing the truth, of letting everyone else manipulate my child while leaving me out to dry. After that, I stopped talking to them completely. I don't need people who think I'm wrong when I know I did what was right. I even consulted lawyers about suing the school and CPS. They told me that there's no case. Dragging her out by her hair, even if I think it was discipline, is enough to make them side with the child. Even if the money she hid was supposed to be given to us, even if she lied. According to them, the system is more concerned about protecting my daughter from parental overreach than about honoring agreements or enforcing honesty. It's maddening. I feel trapped, humiliated, and completely isolated. Our daughter graduated high school this week. I wasn't invited. I didn't even know the exact date until someone mentioned it casually in passing. She walked across the stage with her father and aunt, and I was officially erased from the ceremony. I could have gone and tried to crash it, but the idea of seeing her smiling with everyone else while I'm ignored, no, I couldn't handle it. I'm still mourning that. All those years raising her, the discipline, the rules, the money agreements, the effort to teach her responsibility, and I wasn't even acknowledged. So here I am, months later, completely abandoned by my immediate family, by my husband, by my daughter, and socially ostracized. I have a restraining order against me from my child. I'm banned from school events. My husband has left, my parents have turned against me, and the community treats me like a monster. I am furious and I feel like I am surrounded by traitors. All I did was enforce rules, make my child accountable, and teach her the importance of honesty and responsibility, and I've lost everything for it. Final update. It's been 5, maybe 6 years since prom night. I stopped counting after the first couple of years because honestly, I don't even know why I keep track. Things have changed, but not in ways I wanted. I'm still here, alone, bitter, and constantly reminded of how everyone turned their back on me. My daughter, who I raised, disciplined, and taught responsibility, has officially erased me from her life. I found out she's graduating college through a distant relative's Facebook post. No one bothered to call me, to tell me. I had to scroll through pictures of her walking across the stage with her father and his new wife. I wasn't there. I wasn't even invited. Seeing her in her cap and gown, smiling and holding a diploma, while I sit here in my apartment, it's hard to put into words. I raised her. I pushed her. I made sure she understood how to work for what she wanted, and now I am nothing in her life. My husband remarried shortly after our separation. He has a new life, a new family dynamic, and he spends time with her and the new wife on breaks or special occasions. I seethe every time I hear about it. I can't believe he abandoned me and left me to deal with the fallout alone, only to have the audacity to move on without a second thought. I've tried to frame it in my mind as him being weak and spineless, but I won't lie, seeing him happy, living the life we once shared, while I've been left in this isolated limbo, eats at me. I still live in a small apartment I was forced to sell the house for after the divorce. The house was mine too, and I thought I would be able to stay there for my daughter, to maintain some presence in her life. But that was gone in a matter of months. I'm constantly reminded of how much I've lost. I've sent letters, birthday gifts, small thoughtful things over the years. They come back unopened, sometimes with a note from her aunt saying, "Please respect her privacy. She's ungrateful. She's purposely keeping me out." I see it as deliberate punishment, even though I know some would say it's her choice, but it feels personal. I can't understand how she could cut me out when all I did was try to teach her lessons and make her accountable. I tried to see her once at a college event. I thought maybe if I showed up quietly, I could catch a glimpse of her, maybe even talk to her. Campus security intercepted me before I even got close. They told me I was trespassing and could be arrested. My presence was considered threatening. I couldn't believe it. My own child, the one I raised, is protected from me like I'm some kind of criminal. I left that day feeling humiliated, small, and furious all at once. Online, I've taken to parenting forums, trying to vent. Some people understand, but most just tell me I overreacted, that I was controlling, or that I should have let go and forgiven. I can't forgive what they've done to me. I can't forgive the lies, the betrayal, the complete erasure of my role in my daughter's life. I keep telling myself that I raised her strictly, taught her responsibility, and that her achievements wouldn't be possible without me. I frame it in my head like that, even though I know outsiders wouldn't see it that way. I admit, sometimes, late at night when it's quiet, I wonder if maybe I was too harsh. Maybe dragging her out of prom by her hair, confiscating money she claimed she needed for college applications. Maybe that was extreme. But those thoughts pass quickly, and I bury them under layers of justification. I tell myself she had to learn accountability, she had to understand consequences, and that no one else was going to teach her. I refuse to see this as anything else. So that's where I am, Reddit. 5 years after prom, my daughter has grown into an adult, graduating college, becoming independent, and completely excluding me. My husband remarried, my parents abandoned me, and the community sees me as the controlling parent who went too far. I'm isolated, bitter, and still convinced that I was right, that I was trying to do my job as a parent, that the lessons I tried to teach her were necessary, but I've lost everything because of it.